Hello everyone, I'm going to be making a traditional kimchi recipe. The recipe, I originally learned it from some Korean ladies that I worked with at a grocery store. When I was a lot younger, my first or second job was working there, and it was quite an experience. I learned so much about vegetables and herbs and Asian style cooking, and they would make this recipe in large batches. Um, and I didn't really understand the process of fermentation, but I do remember eating it with rice every lunch hour with other little fish or other salads, and I loved it. You can make it spicier or less spicier based on the gochicaru level that you add. This is the chili flakes, which is the most important ingredient. You'll find it at a Korean or Asian market, and it looks like crystals of chili flakes. Just ask them for gochicaru or red pepper chili flakes for making kimchi. These are the ingredients that you're going to need: pickling salt. You're going to need sweet rice flour. You're going to need garlic, Asian pear, which is peeled, carrots, onion, ginger, Dikon radish, green onions, and also the rice flour. When you use one Napa cabbage, which is generally 3 pounds, I'll give you the recipe in the description below for one Napa cabbage. And you'll need 3 tablespoons of the rice flour with three-fourths of a cup of water, and you just mix it on a low heat for 5 minutes, and it becomes a rice paste. That's going to add a texture to the kimchi. So what you're going to start doing is you take your Napa cabbage and you start removing the leaves. Obviously the first set of outer leaves, don't use those, throw those in the garbage. But then you come down to the nice leaves. You take them on your cutting board, chop them into pieces about yay big, like that. And this is the tip, obviously, the tip of the leaf. So you pieces like that. And you're going to rinse it. I use a strainer, and I strain it. I rinse my cabbage leaves, and then I put it into my bowl. The salt is the important part of the lacto fermentation process. With kimchi, it's a little different than sauerkraut. Actually, no, it's the same as sauerkraut. You're basically adding a certain amount of salt, and the salt keeps away the bad bacteria, but it promotes the lacto acid bacteria, which is why we're making this recipe. Not well, I'm making because I like it, but at the same time, it's really good for your microbiome because of the lactic acid bacteria. So the bacteria on the cabbage leaf and in the Asian pear and all these things, they feed on the sugars, and then they create this lactic acid bacteria, which is extremely healthy for you. Similar, it's also found in yogurt. So in a nutshell, what you want to do after you've rinsed your cabbage, you're going to cover it. One cabbage is 3 tablespoons of the salt, and you're just going to massage it every 30 minutes. And after about 2 or 3 hours, and I'll show you a clip of that, it'll become very soft. It won't crack, it'll actually bend, and that's when you know it's ready. And then you can add your rice paste and also your chili ingredients with the others. So we are salting our Napa cabbage. We made our rice paste, and now you're going to add your Asian pear, which are peeled and seeded. You're going to add ginger, garlic, the onions, the fish sauce, and the little salted shrimp. Also the gochicaru. Add this to a electric mixer, and we're going to puree this. So we finished making the chili paste. And I'm just going to mix all of the rest of the ingredients. The chili paste goes into a bowl, and try to get everything. This is all basically, this is what gives it the wonderful flavor. And to the bowl, we're also going to add our carrots julienne or matchstick, and then our Dikon radish, and then our green onions. Actually, I'm going to get a slightly larger bowl because this is my double recipe. That's better. Good. So I'll just mix all of this together, and then at this point we're going to be rinsing our Napa cabbage. So you're going to bring over your big pot, and I just wanted to show you, this is after 3 hours. Every 30 minutes I massaged it, and then you keep pushing it down. There's a lot of salt. You can taste it, don't be afraid. And the taste is quite salty, obviously, and that's what you want. So you're going to now rinse it. Generally it's just, you want to remove that salt. So let the water go over it. The salt is inside of the Napa cabbage, and that's what's going to start the process of like pickling dill pickles or sauerkraut. You do need a certain percentage of salt, so don't go crazy over rinsing it, but just remove that excess salt, and you can taste it again after that, and you'll notice that it's nowhere nearly as salty originally, but it still has a little bit of the salinity that you want. And then after this, you're going to put it into another bowl and continue until you've rinsed all of your cabbage. So we've just strained all of our kimchi, the Napa cabbage, out of and I rinsed it under cold water. So I'm just making sure I get the rest of the water out. Don't want it. Okay, so now our kimchi is washed, salted. It's been in a brine for about 3 hours. And it's not salty anymore, but there is some salt in it. And don't forget, there is salt in the fish sauce that we've added here. And also there's a little bit of salt in the gochicaru chili spice. So all I'm going to ask you to do now is put a layer of cabbage in the bottom of a large bowl or a pot. And then you're going to put another layer of the chili. Now before you add the chili, the last thing you want to mix in is your paste. So take your sweet rice paste, mix that in, and we're gonna just do like a lasagna, layer by layer. I'll give you one example. All right, so just a layer like that. And the spices, I can smell, they're wonderful. The aroma of the ginger and the garlic and the chili. That's it. So this is where you want to incorporate your gochicaru chili paste. So now that we've layered the layers of chili paste in the Napa cabbage, we're going to put it into our pickling our container. I sometimes use this bucket, which is a 3 liter, it's a 4.5 liter bucket, or you can use a 3 liter or gallon glass pickling jar. In this particular occasion, I have a lot, and it most probably will be better in the bucket. But if you want to use the jar, it's great because it has the shoulder too. But you just put it into this plastic bucket, or use your jars if that's what you have. If you're doing one Napa cabbage, it should usually fill into maybe 2 or 3 quart jars. That'll be fine. So I'm also, what you're going to need to do is, as you're adding your kimchi, do this every, I guess, a couple layers. Just get yourself something that can help you force down your cabbage. You want to get it tightly packed. We packed it all down with the press, and it actually fits perfectly in this bucket. Then I just took a piece of wax paper. I fold it into like this way. This little trick, and then you measure from the middle, and then you just cut, and then you open it back up again, and it's usually a good size there. I guess if you really want it, if you didn't have a cover, you can take a Ziploc bag, fill it up with water, close it back up, and that acts as a weight also. But this one will work. This way will work fine. Now, there's two ways of fermenting this: 5 to 7 days in the refrigerator if you want a more aggressive fermentation with a more sour flavor, which is the way I've always seen it being done at the Korean grocery store that I worked at. They would just leave this outside for 2 days. Outside of just on the counter. So what I'm going to do is, just because I do a lot of fermenting with cabbage, and sometimes the water comes up, I doubt there will be any water that comes over, but just put on a tray and then just put it in your pantry. And I'll do a last video. I'm going to leave this, I put the date on it here, so I'm going to do a last video where we'll take it out and we'll taste it. And I'll talk to you exactly how many days, but don't be afraid. In about 2 days to go, open the cover and take a little bit out. And if it's sour enough for you, you enjoy that flavor, put it in the fridge. But if you want it a little bit more fermented, just leave it another 2 days. This is the update after 2 days. We're going to pull out the kimchi from the pantry. Haven't touched it, I haven't moved it. This is just 48 hours since I put it in. As you can see, we got a little drum going on here because of the carbon dioxide. And if I open it, yeah, it just bubbled up because of the air. As it's fermenting, it gives off gas naturally, which is a great sign. And what I want to do is I just want to taste it to see if it's a little bit kind of sour. Good flavor. So I have two choices. Number one, I could put the whole container in the refrigerator and then take it as I need it. Or I can put it in these jars, which is what I'm probably going to do, because I'm not going to go through all of this. And actually I made a little extra because I want to give some to friends. So that's the recipe. Like, if you're going to be making one Napa cabbage, you'll probably get about this much, these 3 jars worth. So yes, that's easy to go through in about a month. You know, and I would recommend, when you do refrigerate this, it'll last up to 4 weeks easily. But when you're putting it in your jars, just like I did earlier with pushing it down, make sure you push it down into your glass jar. And if you want, you can put a little piece of wax paper over that, and then cover it loosely with your cover, because it will continue to give off a little bit of gas in the refrigerator. But the fermentation definitely slows down a great deal in the refrigerator. So that's the recipe for kimchi. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section. Have a great day.